There are a wide variety of ways to install WordPress. In this video, we're going to take a look at one-click installs as opposed to installing it yourself. We're here on the WordPress Codex for the Installing WordPress section. And now I'm going to show you something horrible. We scroll down and there are things to know before WordPress. Things you need to do. Here's the famous 5-minute install, which involves downloading it, unpacking it, and re-uploading it. Except you also need to create a database and a user, and you might be using Plesk or cPanel or lunarpages.com's custom cPanel or something else entirely. You might have to do it manually with phpMyAdmin. You might end up doing it on the command line. Then you're editing files. There are all kinds of things that you need to do here to get WordPress installed manually. So why would anyone ever want to install manually when there are one-click installs available? Well, there are several reasons. One is that if you're security-minded like me, you can never be quite sure what the one-click installer is doing. Are they installing anything else besides WordPress? Now, they're probably not installing anything else. They're probably quite reputable. But my own little tinfoil hat fits just a little too tight for me to be quite comfortable with that. Additionally, some sites in their one-click install tend to install some extra things, whether you ask for it or not. You'll get some extra plugins or some extra themes. One host that I know actually installs about 30 themes. Then you have to go through and delete all the ones you don't want. Some hosts, if you do a one-click install, will take over the updating of your plugins and themes for you. If you want that, that's great. But if you don't, or you don't expect it, it can be a bit unfortunate. Another reason you'd want to do a manual install of WordPress is that if you do it often, you can set up a system. You could set up your own script. You can adjust it and set things up exactly the way you want them. You could even make your own script that does include some themes and plugins ahead of time. That way, you get what you want right off the bat. So all things considered, I'm going to say that a one-click install is great for someone who's only going to do it once, maybe twice a year, maybe only once ever, and doesn't care about little details like where the database is or what the database prefix is. They just want a blog. One-click is great for people like that. However, if you're a developer or a tinkerer and you want to know how things are working and you want to know where everything is and you want to know all the details of your setup, then absolutely you want a manual install. Because then you put your hands on every part of your site and you know how it's built and you know how to fix it when it breaks. So there isn't a definitive answer of which is better, one-click or manual. They simply have a different audience. Which audience are you? The next reason I'm going to give you about why you should use WordPress is that it's ridiculously easy to use. At its core, it's a blogging platform. So it's like a journal. You want to make entries. You want them to be dated. You'd really like for them to be organized by category or topic or tag or something so that you can easily find them. Here's the front of my blog, and I'm going to do a blog post. This is the admin. There's a section called Posts. Here are the 2 posts I have so far, and I'm going to make a new one. Here I'll put in a title, and here I can type my blog post. First, take a look right here, right above. It's already created a URL for this post, and it's a very memorable one. Google loves this kind of URL. People like it because they can remember where it is. Now, this area where you can type your post is called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It's very much like using Microsoft Word. You just type. You don't have to know any HTML at all. You just type. There are common tools like bold and italics, bulleted lists, ordered lists, quotes, alignment, left, right, and center. If you want to link to another page, you just highlight some text,
click this and type in what you want to type in. There, now it's a link. You can also put in headers. You can underline, do alignments, set colors, paste in text from Word or plain text from another site. You can undo things, all sorts of things. Now, if you know HTML and you want to get your hands dirty, there's a little tab here, and poof, you're editing the HTML. Go back to Visual, and there you are. But what about pictures? All you have to do is click where you want the picture, click Add Media. If you go here, you can upload files from your computer. You can just drag them in here, click to select files. I've already uploaded some, and here they are. So I'm going to choose this one. I can give it a title, a caption if I wish, and an alt text. This is good for search engines or blind people who can't see the picture. I can choose an alignment from my image. I can choose to link the image to itself, or page, or someplace else altogether, or nothing. And what size? When you upload a picture, WordPress automatically creates some sizes for you, so that you can go ahead and upload a really big one, which you can see here as full size, but choose to use a smaller one in your post. And there we are. And there's even my caption. Now over here is categories. There, I just added a brand new category, and this is available on my entire website, just like that. Tags work the same way. I could attach a featured image, which could be associated with this post, but not necessarily in the post. But I'm not going to do that right now. I hit Publish, and I have a new post. Let's go back to the front end of our website, and there it is. Now this is the archive page. It lists multiple past posts, but I can click on the title, and there's the single post. Now you'll note in that whole process, I didn't really do anything very techy at all. I was able to simply put content on my website, and that's one of the great things about WordPress. Now that was just posts. It's also possible to do regular pages. So you can create pages for your website. And this is accomplished in exactly the same way as posts. It's just as easy. Pretty much everything in WordPress is just as easy. It's built with you in mind. On just about every page in the entire admin, there's a Screen Options tab, which gives you some options for this page. Additionally, there's a Help tab that helps you know how to use this page. So there's great inline documentation through the entire process. As a user, you don't want to spend a lot of time working on your website. You don't want to spend a lot of time building your website. You want to work on your content. You want to work at what you're trying to say, what you're trying to present to people. That's one of the reasons why you should use WordPress, because that's what it's built for. In this session, we're taking a look at another reason why you should choose WordPress, and that reason is plugins. Everybody knows that WordPress is blogging software. You can make posts, like a journal, right? Well, with plugins, WordPress can be so much more. We're looking here at wordpress.org/plugins, and right here you can see that they have 29,857 plugins available. These are all free, and this is not the only site that has plugins. There are many other sites that offer both free plugins and plugins for sale. The ones for sale often have much better support and can do more things. Let's take a look at what kinds of things plugins can do. These are tags that are attached to plugins, sort of to help sort them. Here we have e-commerce, 329 topics. Spell it a little differently, you have 276 more. Then we have social and social media. We have newsletters, Facebook, calendars, advertising in several different ways, Amazon, analytics, anti-spam. There are security plugins, photo plugins, pretty much everything you can possibly think of. If you want to do it with your website, there's almost certainly a plugin for it. And if there's not, making a plugin isn't very hard, and there are people all over the world that would be happy to help you make a plugin, given a little cash, or maybe even some pizza. This is all great, but how do you get these plugins, and how do you put them on your site? Well, you could download them directly from this site, but it's easier to do directly from in WordPress. This is the administration page, and over here is the plugins area. And here are mine. Now let's say I want to add a forms plugin, because I want a contact form. I click Add New, I type in Contact Form, and we found 1,206 of them. Contact Form is at the top, obviously. My favorite is called Contact Form 7, and I know that because I searched around on the internet, and I've used it before, so I'm actually going to search for that specifically. This is the kind of thing you would learn from community, and we'll talk about the WordPress community in another video. So right there's my plugin. I click Install, I say OK, and now it's installed. I click Activate, and now I have a new plugin. Just like that. I didn't have to download it from WordPress.org. I didn't have to unpack it or run any kind of fancy installer. It just took care of it. Updates are pretty easy too. Whenever there's a new version of your plugin, WordPress itself will tell you in a variety of ways. There's a little 1 right here. Under Dashboard, it says there's 1 update. Right up here, it says there's 1 update. And on this page itself, it says there's an update here. You can read about the new version, or you can click Update Now. And just like that, I have the new version of my plugin. Some plugins will even give you little notices to help you know what's new. Given the flexibility of plugins, you're free to make your site do anything you want it to do. It can be a blog, or it could not be a blog. It could be just a regular website. It could be a gallery for your art. It could be a gallery for your music. It could be a sales point for your store. Anything you can think of, you can add to WordPress to make it do exactly what you want. And that is incredibly powerful. In this session, we're going to look at another reason why you should choose WordPress, and this reason is the themes. What does a WordPress site look like? The actual secret is that it doesn't look like anything, but it also looks like everything. You can make your site look like anything, and they don't all look the same. Occasionally, people will say, oh, you can tell it's a WordPress site because they all look the same, but they don't actually. Let's take a look at some good examples. This site is running WordPress. This is for the New York Times Company. This site is also running WordPress. They look completely different. They have different functionality. This site is also running WordPress. And it doesn't look anything like the others. I actually had a hand in building this particular website. It was a lot of fun, and it wasn't that hard. We're looking here at the WordPress.org themes directory. And here it says there are 2,371 themes. These themes are all free. You can download any one of them and just put it on your site and use it. In addition to these free themes, there are many, many commercial themes that cost money. Some of them don't cost very much at all. Some of them are quite expensive because they're very cool. This page is on WordPress.org and lists some sites that sell themes, and there are quite a lot of them, as you can see. An advantage to a commercial theme is that it usually comes with good support, so that if something goes wrong, you can get a hold of someone and they can help you. That doesn't mean there isn't support for the others, but if you pay for the theme, you're more likely to get support. The Theme Foundry is a site that sells themes. They actually build them themselves, and they have some pretty good variety. Let's take a look at this one to see what the price might be. This one is $79, but as you can see, it looks really slick, and if you're a photographer, it can be really advantageous to you. And it's only $79. If you paid a theme developer to build you something custom, it could be thousands and thousands of dollars. Let's take a look at how themes work. Right here under Appearance is Themes. These are the themes I have installed. And right here is a great big button to add a new theme. Now this is actually a search interface for all the free themes at WordPress.org. So you can filter by keywords, or you could just type something in. I'm going to type in gallery and see what I get. There's a nice looking one. I click Install Now, and I can live preview it to see what my site would look like if I did use it. Now I don't have a whole bunch of photos on my site right now, so it's kind of boring, but I could. Let's just go ahead and activate it. There, now I have an entirely new look for my site. With over 2,700 free themes, you could have a brand new theme every day for an awfully long time. Your readers might hate you, but you could do it. Many themes can often be customized within themselves. You can set different colors for your fonts or your header. You can upload different graphics for your header and your logo and your footer, all that kind of stuff. You're not stuck with a site that looks just like somebody else's, even if you're running the same theme as them. Your options for the look and feel of your site are very, very numerous. And if you need to, you can either build your own theme or you can hire a developer to build something completely custom, or even hire a developer to slightly modify one so that it's unique from everybody else in the world, but you're not paying thousands of dollars for a new theme either. The world of WordPress theming is really very exciting because they're so different. You can have a different look and feel anytime you want, and you can have a different look and feel from everybody else, and it's very easy. Another great reason to use WordPress is its excellent user management. There are really two different ways to look at this. One is from the viewpoint of a site managed by multiple people. Another is from the viewpoint of a site with multiple users logged in. Let me show you what I mean. I have 2 users right now. I'm going to go to Add New. We're going to go right to the bottom, and I'm going to show you the roles. First role we're going to look at is subscriber. A subscriber is somebody who can log into your website, change their own password, really not do anything else besides comment and read. But why would you want to do this? A variety of reasons. One is that it makes it a lot easier for them to comment on your site. And if you get a lot of comments, your users will appreciate this, because then they don't have to fill out all their information every time they comment. They can just start typing their comments, and away they go. Another is for excellent tracking. You can know a lot about your users when they're logged in. You can see where they go, what they do, how long they're there, all that kind of stuff. If these things are important to you, WordPress makes it very easy to access that information. But let's look at the other 4 options here. Administrator, I'm not going to talk too much about. This is just somebody who can manage your site. But let's look first at contributor. A contributor can create content, but not publish it. This is for somebody that you want to create content for your site, but you don't necessarily trust them to publish it before taking a look at it. Next is author. An author is someone who can publish their own content. These are people who you have vetted, and you know they're excellent content creators, and they can create all the content they want on their own. And then lastly is editor. An editor can edit, publish, delete content from any other user, which is exactly what an editor does. An editor reviews content, adjusts it where needed, and then publishes. But what's great about this is that you can have as many of these as you need to. So imagine you're setting up a news department. You might have 1 or a couple editors, you might have a whole bunch of authors, and you may have an army of interns who are contributors. And they're all creating content, all at the same time. The editors can manage this content, publish it, move it around, rename it, recategorize it, whatever they need to do. Additionally, out on the front end, WordPress automatically creates custom pages for authors. Once content is published, it treats everyone as an author on the front end. So a contributor will look like an author because their content has been published by the editor. So you end up with profile pages, and you can have images and descriptions and Twitter handles and email, and then a link to all of their content. So if you have a site with multiple contributors, WordPress can make it incredibly easy to allow each of them to do the things they need to do while keeping an excellent division of permissions, so that authors can't mess up each other's work, contributors can't just publish stuff willy-nilly, and editors can do whatever they need to the content on the site. All of this comes right out of the box with WordPress. It just works. So if you're considering a site with multiple contributors, I highly recommend WordPress for this. Next up in our series of Why WordPress, we're going to take a look at some mobile apps. There are 3 mobile apps for WordPress. They all do pretty much the same thing. There's one for iOS, one for Android, and one for BlackBerry. These apps allow you to manage your WordPress site right from your mobile device. This could be your iPad or your phone or your Android tablet. Let's take a look at some of the options here. Here's a screenshot of the Android app, and their most recent blog post has an excellent rundown of some features. Let's take a look. There's a new reader. It allows you to read posts on your own blog as well as other blogs. The latest version has a new setup interface. There's some great UI improvements. And then, this is really exciting, there's a bunch of new media options. WordPress has an excellent media library. It can also do things like galleries and playlists for audio and video. The latest version of the mobile app allows you to use these things. You can upload images directly from your device to your media library, create galleries, and then manage the images that are on your site. You can manage their titles, alt tags, descriptions, captions, and all that sort of thing. Also, built right into your device, you can see stats for your site. That's pretty exciting. We can also do excerpts, and there's good Picasa support, so if you're a Google user and you use Picasa for your images, it's very easy to upload and manage them that way. The 3 posts I just looked at have all come since last August. There are regular updates to these apps, and you can get new features all the time. And not just silly little features, but real ones. Things that actually really change the way you use your site and the way you use your device. If you're someone who primarily accesses the internet on your mobile device, these apps can really change the way you use your website. In this session, we're going to take a look at another reason why I use WordPress. In this time, we're going to talk about community. You'll see here that I'm on the support page for WordPress.org, but this is more than about just support. The WordPress community is very, very broad and very, very helpful. Most of the posts and answers found in the support area of WordPress.org are contributed by volunteers. There isn't a company who manages support for WordPress.org. This is smart people, knowledgeable people around the world answering questions. You'll see here there's a list of forums. There's installation, how-to and troubleshooting, themes and templates, plugins and hacks, or just hacks, WP Advanced, multi-site, localhost installs, your WordPress for showing off your stuff, miscellaneous, requests and feedback, alpha and beta, meetups, and reviews. In installation alone, there are 44,282 topics with 171,000 posts. How-to and troubleshooting has over 1.5 million posts. Plugins and hacks has over 1.8 million. That's really incredible. And it's very rare indeed that you post a question here and you don't get a response. There's another way to look at these forums, though. If you go to a specific plugin, you'll find that there's a support tab on all of them. When you click it, it goes to the normal WordPress support forums, but it pulls out by tag topics only for this plugin. So you can look at just the support area for any given plugin or theme. You can see here how old these posts are, how many responses they have, and who the last poster was. This is really, really handy. In addition to the support area, there's also a worldwide community of meetups. Meetup.com facilitates meetups of any type, not just technology or even just WordPress. However, Automatic volunteered to pay the fees of any WordPress meetup group that uses meetup.com. As a result, there are an awful lot of them. I picked a central city and then chose any distance. And if we scroll down, you can see that there are a whole bunch. There's Ottawa, Lahore, Vancouver, Orlando, Colorado Springs, Central Kentucky, Adelaide, North Jersey, San Antonio, Phoenix, Ventura, Atlanta, Nice, Kolhapur, Barcelona, North Denver, and I can just scroll and scroll and scroll. Chances are really high that there's a meetup near you. Meetups are really great for getting to know other people who use WordPress, and they might have more knowledge than you, but they might have less, and you can help them. And always, you come away from a meetup with more knowledge than you had, even if you're the one that did the teaching. I highly recommend you find a meetup group and join it. Post Status is a news site all about WordPress. It's run by Brian Krogsgaard, and he keeps an eye on the WordPress community at large and reports on what's interesting and new. I've found this to be a really valuable resource. Additionally, Brian goes to a lot of WordCamps, and if you find out which ones, you can go and meet him. He's a really nice guy. WP Tavern is another WordPress site. This one is owned by Matt Mullenweg, the creator of WordPress. However, the contributing writers are Jeff Chandler, Marcus Couch, and Sarah Gooding. Jeff's been running the site for a long time, long before Matt bought it, and he's done a really great job. These folks also go to WordCamps. Another great community resource are WordCamps. A WordCamp is a conference, usually a weekend, often starting Friday, ending Sunday, and it's a pretty standard conference with sessions where people talk about how to use WordPress, how to build WordPress, how to make it more awesome, how to use it better. These also happen all over the place, and you can almost certainly find one near you. Let's take a look at upcoming WordCamps. There's Mumbai in India, Sweden, Minnesota, Austin, Sheffield, Bratislava, North Canton, Ottawa, Zurich, Nashville, Stamford, Wellington, Miami. I'm actually going to be at Miami. There's Charleston, one in Brazil, Copenhagen, Tel Aviv, Asheville, It just goes on and on and on. And then over here on the right are planned WordCamps that haven't even gotten a date set yet. These are tremendously valuable as well. Not only will you learn things from the sessions, you'll meet people. You'll make friends. You'll find people who know things that you need, and you'll find people that need things that you know. Once you get embedded in the community, WordPress is a wonderful place to hang out.